In the volatile economic theater of 2026, where the cost of existence has surged by 30%, in just a 3-year window, your paycheck is no longer just a salary. It is a strategic asset. This is a financial autopsy of how money must flow in an era of persistent inflation and shifting interest rates. Every dollar has a destination, and the sequence is not just a suggestion. It is a survival mechanism. If you deviate from the hierarchy, you risk structural collapse. The primary objective after the capital hits your account is tactical defense. Step 1 is the immediate servicing of minimum debt obligation. We are talking about the high-velocity liabilities, credit cards, student loans, auto financing, and the predatory creep of buy now, pay later services. This is your treading water phase. In the credit ecosystem of 2026, a single missed payment is a catastrophic breach. Your credit score is a composite of 5 distinct variables, but 2 dominate the landscape: payment history and credit utilization. Together, they dictate 65% of your financial reputation. A compromised score doesn't just raise interest rates, it locks the doors to housing and future leverage. Automation is your only safeguard here. Set it, forget it, and remove the flawed human element from the equation. We move to step 1.5, the psychology of invisible capital. To win the war against lifestyle creep, you must embrace the principle of forced scarcity. If the money moves to its designated bucket before you can perceive it in your checking account, the impulse to spend is neutralized. This isn't about discipline, it's about architecture. You cannot mismanage what you never held. Step 2 involves your monthly operating budget, the fuel for your daily life. This is your cost of goods sold as a human being. Rent, mortgage, nutrition, healthcare, and logistics. In the current landscape, the 50-30-20 rule has become the gold standard, though. In high-density urban corridors, your needs may swell to 60%. If your survival cost is $2,910, your account should never dip below a $3,300 threshold. This $400 buffer is your tactical margin of error. Do not confuse this with your emergency fund. This is liquidity for the known. Step 3 is for the unknown. The emergency fund of 2026 requires a deeper reservoir than the traditional 3-month model. Given the heightened economic volatility and AI-driven job displacement, a 4 to 6 month hedge is the new mandatory minimum. If your monthly burn is $2,500, your target is a $15,000 fortress. While high-yield savings rates have retreated from the 5% peaks of 2024 to a more modest 3% to 3.5%, they remain the only viable home for this capital. It must remain liquid yet shielded from the 0-11% erosion of traditional banking. Once the foundation is cast, we transition to step 4, the capture of free capital. This is your employer-sponsored retirement plan. Whether it is a 401k, a UK workplace pension, or an Australian superannuation, the mission is identical. You must contribute enough to trigger the full employer match. This is a 100% immediate return on investment, the only free lunch in finance. In 2026, the 401k contribution ceiling has risen to $24,500. If you invest $7,500 annually into an S&P 500 vehicle at an 8% average return, you are looking at a $21 million terminal value over 40 years. This is the power of compounding interest, a force Einstein famously called the eighth wonder of the world. Step 5 is the aggressive liquidation of high-interest debt. Anything exceeding a 15% APR, you have 2 weapons: the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. The avalanche is mathematically superior, targeting the highest interest rates first to minimize total interest paid. The snowball is a psychological tool, killing the smallest balances first to create dopamine-driven momentum. Choose your weapon based on your temperament, not just the math. However, if you hold low-interest debt under 5%, the math suggests staying the course and investing simultaneously. An 8% market return versus a 4% loan interest creates a 4% net positive spread. It is a calculated arbitrage of your own life. Step 6 expands your perimeter beyond the 401k. The priority shifts to the Roth IRA. In 2026, the contribution limit stands at $7,500 for those under 50. This is post-tax capital, meaning the government has already taken its cut, but every cent of future growth is entirely tax-free. In a Roth IRA, you hunt for high-growth ETFs to maximize that tax-free upside. Once the Roth is maxed, return to your taxable brokerage. Here, simplicity is king. Index funds like the S&P 500 offer tax efficiency and long-term reliability. Finally, step 7, income diversification. Data from 2026 suggests that 65% of self-made millionaires maintain at least 3 distinct income streams. In an era where AI is rewriting the labor contract, relying on a single paycheck is a systemic risk. Whether it is freelancing dividend yields or digital content, you must build a secondary engine. Even 5 hours a week dedicated to a side hustle can yield an extra $500 a month, which when funneled back into steps 1 through 6 accelerates your timeline to financial independence exponentially. The flowchart is clear. The order is absolute. The question is no longer how much you earn, but how much you retain and where you deploy it. Your financial future is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of execution.